It's Monday, August 19th, 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. As always, please make sure to like this video, share all my videos everywhere, your social media, your family, friends, and make sure you subscribe. If you want to support this channel, the best way to do it is subscribe and share these videos. I'm going to get right into the video today. A few things I want to talk about, printed up some articles here, and oh, as always, please comment down below. The comments are incredible. You continue to wake up a lot of people with those comments, but it really gives us a good barometer of what is happening across the country. GM lays off more than 1,000 salaried software and services employees. Here we go again. Markets across the board today up, and we just continue to get more bad news, and more bad news continues to fuel these markets. The markets are anticipating the first rate cut in September. Remember, markets don't care about job losses, doesn't care if you lose your job. Markets don't care if you lose your house. The markets don't really care about the US economy at all. The markets at this point have no fundamentals. All they are caring and relying on now is more rate cuts and more helicopter money. CNBC, some families expect to go into debt shopping for back-to-school supplies, report finds. High prices are partly to blame. Well, of course, it's called inflation. 31% will go into debt, according to a survey from Bankrate.com. Credit Karma did a survey. In their survey, they found 34% expect to take on debt. So, as I reported the other day, we're talking about giving people who aren't even from here $25,000 to put down on a home so they can buy a home. Yet we have Americans here going into debt because they've got to buy school supplies. They've got to buy, pencils and papers and binders and backpacks, and they're going into debt doing this. They're slapping it on the credit card at 23, 25, 30% to be able to get their kids back to school. Where is the help for the average American person? Where is the help? What do you think about all this? I mean, you can Google this. Reported it the other day. They're talking about giving people not from here $25,000 to put down on a house. How much money did they give you to put down on a house? And how many people now are in jeopardy of losing their house because of what is happening to the U.S. economy? U.S. vacationers are pulling back. This on Fox Business. The travel industry is warning that U.S. consumers are pulling back on the excursions. Of course, they are tapped out. All the free money from the health crisis is gone. The savings accounts have dried up. People are losing jobs. Hilton CEO Chris Narsetta, he says they've spent all their money. They're now borrowing more, and they're borrowing more at 23, 25, 30%. This is going to continue to get much, much uglier, ladies and gentlemen. It is amazing to watch the stock market go up and ignore all the warning signs, to ignore the average American, to ignore the U.S. economy, while the top echelon of people at 0.001% sitting at the very top are making more money than ever. You've been sold out. They have sacrificed your economy, the U.S. economy, for the stock market, and expect for things to get much worse. U.S. leading economic indicators plunged for 29th month, worse than the health crisis lockdowns. It says here, major headwinds: weaker consumer expectations, softer building permits, and hours worked in manufacturing drove the decline. Here's another one today. Cash-strapped California inches closer to handing taxpayer home loans to migrants. You know, the people coming over here from other places. And look, I'm not going to sit here and get political. You can, come to your own conclusion of what's going on. I'm talking about purely the economics here. About, we talk about what's happening, the wars escalating across the world. We're talking about these people from all over the world coming here. I just want to know who's paying for all this. Who's paying for the F-16s? Who's paying for the drones? Who's paying for the missiles? Who's paying for this handout? Who's paying for this? California lawmakers are one step closer to making hundreds of millions of taxpayer-funded dollars of home loans available to residents not from here. So the California dream may be from people from all over the world who just come here, but it's not going to be for you. Hundreds of millions of dollars of taxpayer-funded home loans could become available to these people. How do you feel about that? Please comment down below. Again, we're not getting political. We're just talking about what's right, what's wrong, who should be getting help, who shouldn't be getting help, who deserves this, who's paying for this. The big question is, who's paying for this? You know the answer. It's you, it's me. Why are we not getting this? Why are other people getting this when we're the ones paying into it? That is my question. Again, it's unbelievable. California lawmakers are one step closer to making hundreds of millions of taxpayer-funded home loans available to residents not from here. Again, the California dream is not for you and me. That is quite clear. Now, one other thing I want to bring up while we're on this subject, I don't know, excuse me, I don't know where you all live, but I'm here in Southern California in the desert. I was just talking to my good friend Aaron at Texas Silver. Make sure you check out his channel. When we were out there last year, I could not believe the amount of construction, especially multifamily. Now this year, I cannot believe the amount of multifamily I'm seeing just out here in the desert. It's happening all over the place, but right here in the desert, there are at least 4 or 5 developments of multifamily that are, 800, 900, 1,000 plus units. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself today, and we drive by these things every day, and I'm thinking while I'm reading all this, who's going to occupy these multifamily units? Like, who is this for? Who is going to get the money for? I don't know if they're condos, apartments, what they are, but apartment prices out here for a 2-bedroom in the desert, nothing fancy, is going to cost you well over $2,000, probably about $2,500. That's going to be an older 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment. You get into parts of Orange County, that's going to be $3,000. You get closer to the beach, it's going to be $4,000 or $5,000. But right out here in the desert, you want to buy a run-of-the-mill 30-year-old apartment, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. It's going to cost you probably nearly $2,500 a month. Now these new units that are going up, going to be at least that much. Who is moving out here? I have to ask myself all the time out here in the desert, what are these people going to do to come up with $2,500, $3,000 plus dollars for an apartment or a condo when most of the jobs out here are leisure and hospitality type jobs? So who is coming out here? I mean, literally, I can show you 5 developments where there are 5,000 units under construction right now. 5,000 units. This is not the big city. This is not LA. This is Coachella Valley, Palm Springs, Palm Desert, Rancho Mirage, La Quinta. And I'm thinking, I can see every day. I drive by these things all the time. 5,000 units, and there's probably others that I haven't even seen yet, but I know of 5 of them where they're huge, and there's about 5,000 units there. So who is going to occupy these units? I have no idea, because I don't know where the jobs are out here where people could even afford to do that. So are you seeing the massive buildup and development of multifamily units where you live? If you are, please comment down below. Love to know your thoughts. When we were in Texas, we saw a ton of them. Here's another one today. Purdue recalls 167,000 pounds of chicken nuggets after consumers find metal wire in some packages. What the F is going on with our food, ladies and gentlemen? Every week I read another article about a food recall. There's an outbreak of this in the food, an outbreak of that in the food. Now we're finding wire in chicken nuggets. Check your freezer. If you have Purdue chicken, make sure you should just toss this stuff out. Get rid of it. It says here an unspecified number of complaints. So it was probably quite a bit. So if you have Purdue chicken nuggets, even if it's just Purdue chicken, I would just probably toss it. But what the heck is going on with all these food recalls? How about, we see every day, it's vehicle recalls. And now, week after week, it's more and more, it's more and more food recalls. So let me know your thoughts on that. But it's getting dangerous now to drive a vehicle because you don't know what's going to happen to the vehicle. It's getting dangerous to eat food now because you don't know what's in the food. So be very, very careful out there. But let me know your thoughts on what's happening with the food here in America. CNBC, most households can weather a $400 financial shock, research finds, but some have to get creative. Now, for a very, very long time, they were reporting that half the country didn't even have $400 saved up. Now, they've kind of turned that around and said most households can actually weather a $400 financial shock, an emergency. Most emergencies today are well over $400. You got to go to urgent care. You got to go to the dentist and have something done. You have an alternator go out, air conditioner go out in the car, whatever, air conditioner at the house. That's $14,000 right there. $400 emergencies. That seems almost impossible today. But they're kind of turning it around, that now people can afford a $400 emergency. Well, how are they doing it? Well, they have some cash and short-term credit, meaning credit cards at 23, 25, 30%. So as long as you have a credit card, you can weather the storm. So we should all feel better now that we can all weather a $400 emergency because we have a credit card at 23 to 30%. The fact of the matter is half this country doesn't even have $500 saved up. And if they do have an emergency, they're not running to cash. They don't have any. They're running to a credit card. They're running to a buy now, pay later. They're running to a family member or a friend to borrow the money to do this. Most times the cash that they have is going to be the cash they borrowed from a family member or the cash advance they got from a credit card. Things are absolutely falling apart. And so the markets can go up again today. We'll see what happens as the Fed comes out this week. I will be paying close attention to what's happening in Chicago at the Democratic convention. Should be very interesting. We were watching a little bit of it last night as they were setting up already. A lot of protests going on, a lot of police in Chicago. They're geared up. We'll see what happens. But it'll be very interesting to see some of the guest speakers. It'll be interesting to see how the crowd in Chicago reacts because they are definitely geared up for something. Here's another one. Vast stretches of America are so depressed that they look like something out of a horror movie. Tens of millions of people in this country depended on government checks. This on The Hedge today. West Virginia, it said here, 30% of the poorest communities are below the poverty line. Drug infested. 39% of Americans say that they've skipped meals to make housing payments. Recent layoffs, Chrysler, this is just recent, last week or two. Chrysler, 2,500, Cisco, 4,000, Dell, 12,000, Intel, 15,000, Paramount and Axios laid off 10 to 15% of their workers. And we're being told nothing to worry about, soft landing. They still cannot even admit to you and I that we're in a recession, when clearly we're in something much worse than a recession at this point, in my humble opinion. Be very, very careful out there, ladies and gentlemen. But a very, very big week as far as the Fed, as far as the DNC and what's going to happen in Chicago. Many anticipating that there's going to be some fireworks. We shall see. We'll see, is Uncle Joe going to show up? What's he going to say? Now there's reports that he may not show up, so I have no idea what's going to go on, but I'm going to tune into it tonight in the next few days. Keep an eye on it, see what's going on. Should be very interesting. But we are living in, no doubt, very, very crazy, crazy times. And nobody at this point can predict what's going to happen tomorrow. Also, tragedy took place in Israel. I believe this morning, somebody, I guess, had a backpack with some explosives, blew themselves up, injured another person. Luckily, this thing detonated early before it got to its destination. So one person injured, thank God. I think they're going to be okay. Again, I'm not sitting here getting political, that I'm for this side or that side or anything like that. I don't like seeing these type of acts take place. I don't like war. I don't like all this division. I don't like seeing people lose their lives. And I certainly don't endorse people putting explosives in a backpack and going up to hurt a bunch of innocent people. That is completely wrong. I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, somewhere in the middle, whatever. That is not acceptable to do that to anybody. Completely evil, demonic, and wrong. I want everything to just calm down, de-escalate, people just work it out, and people just to stop dying for all this needlessness, all this needless political garbage that's going on. People just need to sit down and talk this stuff out. Now, is that going to happen? Probably not. More than likely, it's going to escalate and get much, much worse in Eastern Ukraine, or excuse me, Eastern Europe, where things are escalating even more now, and what just happened today in the Middle East. So this whole thing is a massive powder keg. So be very, very careful out there, because I truly do believe we're going to see some very serious activity right here on American soil, as many of these alphabet agencies have already been warning us and giving us some information that, you know, there's some very, very bad actors here. They're going to do some very, very bad things. So you need to be very, very careful and be prepared for that. So I'm going to leave it there today. God bless all of you. Thanks for tuning in. Again, please like, share, and subscribe. Comment about anything you want to comment down below. God bless every one of you. As always, I look forward to speaking to all of you, and hopefully we'll have something very interesting to talk about tomorrow and see how all this plays out. God bless.